right now,
Okay.
delivered by Santa across the world, and he's tracking currently. Where is Kus? He's coming down north. Yeah.
Drop your computers real quick.
Do I?
Okay.
Shut them off?
Yep.
Bandwidth? Okay. Bandwidth problems.
Yeah, my
on our
Santa
little-
tracking is sucking up our bandwidth as we speak. So, and,
All right, well, let's get back. We'll get him later on. We'll figure that out. But what is Santa carrying?
this, presents.
Presents. Okay, he's carrying presents because today is Jesus' birthday. That's what Christmas
He's
is
over
all about.
Sudan right now.
It's a birthday celebration.
Good luck.
A lot of times
Flying
in
over fast
in the
on that.
in the Christmas flurry, running around at the last minute buying cards and gifts and all of that, people neglect to Mark. I need you. People neglect to recognize that all Christmas is a birthday. It's the recognition, the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ. That's all it is. And ironically, there are about 7 billion, with a B, 7 billion people in the world right now, and about one third of those people, that's 2.3 billion. 2.3 billion people are Christians in the world right now, of some denomination, whether the Catholic denomination, the Protestant, or whether one of the offshoots of Catholicism, the Eastern Church, where a lot of the Coptics come out of. But one of these denominations who believe that Jesus is the center of their religious worship and their religious life. They follow Jesus, Christ, the chosen one, Christ, the Word. They are Christ ones, Christians. So there's 2.3 billion. One third of the world shuts down tomorrow. There is no birthday, whether it's Abraham Lincoln or George Washington or Mao Tse-tung or Stalin or Mohammed. His birthday's not even celebrated, Mohammed. But people in America are trying to get his birthday celebrated. Good luck with that one. 2.3 billion, one third of the world tomorrow will celebrate the birthday of Jesus Christ. That's what this thing is all about. And what I'd like to do is start at the end and then go back to the front, to the beginning, and piece all of this together, get a historical view. Some stuff you probably never heard of before, should be interesting, and some stuff probably is good to hear a couple of times. But this person that a third of the world stops, just let that figure sink in your head. There's 2.3 billion Christians, 1.3 billion Muslims in the world. There are 22% of the world's population are Muslims, 34% are Christians, 14% are Hindu, 7%, about a billion, are Hindu, 1.3 billion are Muslims, 7%, about a half a billion, are Buddhists. There are 2%, whereas 34% of the world's population are Christian, 2% of the world's population are atheists. 2% of 7 billion people are atheists, 34% are Christians. And in the Jewish world, 0.2%. You put a 34% of the world's population, 2.3 billion, are Christians. Jewish people, 0.2. About 15, 16, 17 million.
No, there's not that
Million.
many Jewish people in the world.
6 and 6,
Maybe,
12. Six,
maybe
6
14
over there,
or
6 over.
15 million at
15.
the most.
Yeah.
At the most.
15 is probably the you got 6 in Israel, 6 in the United States. That's 12.
Yeah.
You got a handful sprinkled around.
Yeah.
Million, not with a B, not with a. Not, So 34% are Christian, 22% are Muslim, 0.2% are Jewish people, and those are typically viewed as the three great monotheistic religions. 0.2. And I thought it was interesting. In the United States, out of 320 million people, 75% of America claim to be Christians. And all we're talking about, we're not getting into the level of their Christianity, all of that, but people that have some affiliation either in a professional or personal way with a church that represents Jesus Christ. The point of all that is it's a lot of people, tremendous amount of people are stopping tomorrow to celebrate a birthday, when you come to think of it. Well, why in the world is this birthday, why is everybody doing that? Well, we'll start at the end, then we'll come back to the beginning, and then we're going to open it up, 888-565-1470. This guy, Jesus, lived his life 33 years, and he was born, I'll tell you when he was born a little bit, when we get to his birthday.
Yeah.
But he had a couple of guys following him around, scribes recording, 4 guys, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. They wrote the story about Jesus. This was copied by Islam with the Sunnah of Muhammad and all of that. They followed him around and wrote what happened. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And then when Jesus died and was resurrected according to Christian theology, everything we're doing is Christian theology today because it's Christmas, okay?
Right.
When he was resurrected,
And
he
that
went
was
away.
Easter, right?
Yeah, it was Easter time, yeah. He went away and
Showing off.
he empowered 12 guys. He said, you 12 guys are my sent ones. I'm sending you out. And the Greek word for sent one is apostole, apostles. So he sent these 12 guys out, and they were just staying in Jerusalem. Well, it got a little rough in Jerusalem if you were a Christian in the first century. And,
On account of the Romans, not enough.
Romans didn't
Yeah.
quite dig it, okay? So,
Yeah, I just wanted to make that clear that it was the Romans.
but ironically, by the political consequence of the Romans hating the Christians and Nero literally lining his walkway with Christians covered in tar and lighting them on fire to light the walkway, forced a diaspora, forced Christians in the first century to take off. Well, it's because of that having to leave that these 12 people went to different lands and spread the gospel, if you will. And the next book that records their activity is called Acts. A-C-T-S, next book in the Bible. It's got the 4 Gospels, then the Acts of the Apostles, what these guys did, where they traveled around.
Who wrote
Well,
the Acts?
The various, Luke, the physician, wrote the book of Acts. That was one of these guys.
Okay.
And but then each of them went to different lands, and the way things were done, the Twitter wasn't quite perfected in the first century, or the iPhones. So they had to communicate through people running around and bringing messages back and forth, and they had perfected through papyri and all of that writing. So an apostle would go to someplace, say Rome, and talk to people about about Jesus and all.
They kind
People
of get up on a soapbox in
They
the
would, yeah.
marketplace or something
yeah,
and just kind of
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, that's-
personal chats with people.
Yeah. Well, and primarily they went to the synagogues because Jesus was a Jew and was claiming to be the Jewish Messiah, so they went to the synagogues, but the Jews didn't quite like him too much, so they kind of pushed these guys out. But they spoke wherever they could. And when they left, the people start gathering and saying, this is pretty cool, but they had a lot of questions. So the people would write a letter to the apostle that was in that town, whether it was Rome or Ephesus or Philippi, wherever it was. And the letter would come back to the apostle, and he would write an answer. And these letters have been found and validated and formed the books, the following books of each of these people. The book of Romans, the book of Philippians, the book of Colossians. These are all cities where they went and started a church.
Okay.
And all that early information forms the basic principles of what Christianity is all about.
Right.
So they were the epistles. Epistle means the letter. The letters to the Philippians. That they asked a bunch of questions. Paul would write a letter back saying, here's the answers. So all that stuff came together.